All right, so let's jump into some EDM examples. We'll also combine it a little bit with the daily cycles, because especially, sorry, not all of the daily cycles, but Retail Heaven and London Knockout, because it gives some nice EDMs. Basically allow, how do I explain this? They're very good used in conjunction with these, because you're looking for your continuation inducements. So when you get your mitigation and you get your EDM away from that, perfect, right? So as we can see, we're on the H1 time frame as always. You know the drill in regards to the day, and then obviously 2022. So build up, right? Inducement, significant inducement. Vector candles. What does this mean? Well, as we spoke about earlier on, we can likely expect either a Retail Heaven or a London Knockout. So let's go into how you can use EDMs to help you in these cases. So let's just look at all of this. Let's look at the let's look at all of this. So obviously we have our build up inducement. We're still in Asia. I'm not entirely sure why the Asia box is not on there, but so that's your inducement high. Continuation was also a LIT. Okay, so we know we're not just taking random things. And then look here. So this point here is obviously our second build up inducement mitigation. Perfect. And then look here. Sorry. Okay, it lines up with this point basically. So we have our equal highs building right above here, and then we've got this potential mitigation zone. And then we see, okay, we already know that it's going to be an EDM. And then if we go down onto if we zoom in onto M5 over here, we can see price comes in at this point. We can see that we're mitigating, clear liquidity, hasn't been mitigated. That is our EDM. So now we've got our confluences, we can take this trade. So entry there. Why can't I draw a straight line? Entry here, stop loss here. All right, so from here, we're going to obviously target the significant liquidity, which we can see potentially this is the trade, EDM. This one's quite low and not really at the best time either. So it doesn't matter that it's low, but it's not the best time. Don't really have a cycle going into it. Not ideal, but you can see that this one up here is very much so ideal. We've got our build up, our inducement, our mitigation, which is also an M5 EDM. Just perfect, right? And then we're looking for liquidity targets. Potentially this is your partial point, and then this is your next significant liquidity. So this would be your overall target. So likely you partial here, leave a runner till here, and you are golden. So that is an example of using EDMs with Retail Heaven. Next up, we have this day here, Euro GBP on the 28th of June. This is a very, very nice day. So let's go into it a little bit. Right, this is going to use not just EDMs, but also LETs. It's going to use it in combination. So we can see here, we build some rough equal lows. Mainly we've got Asia low here, right? And then we also have equal highs and the previous day high. So very nice, very nice. And then we see, okay, we're at Frankfurt. Sorry, I've just given that away. We're at Frankfurt. We've vectored through. We've got some liquidity up here, some nice targets. So what is this and when did it happen? Well, we know it's a vector candle at Frankfurt open. Now, we aren't just going to enter straight off the inducement. As you can see, there's not really enough confluence. It's just a little minor inducement of Asia low. And we want you to have a strong foundation first. So let's go and look for a more confirmed trade. We don't just want to randomly jump in. We know that we're going to be trading. We know that quite likely that we're going to be trading away from this inducement and that we've got very clear targets higher, right? So let's just sit on our hands. Let's let price action come to us and we'll see what we've got. So to start off, do you remember our entry helper cycle? You must have your build up. Sorry, I can't write. So you've got your build up, your inducement, and then ideally your mitigation. In this case, we don't quite have the mitigation, so you can consider this more of like an advanced one. But let's see, first we get our M5 let at MM1 to the minute, right? And then we build liquidity here. And also something that I want you guys to really pay attention towards is when you build liquidity in the direction of the trade you want to go, right? So we built liquidity there, and then we come down, give the M1 EDM, which is also a mitigation of the M5 let, and you can see the way that this presents. Boom, we rocket from that point. So if we're in this trade, where are we targeting? At least here, if not here. I took this trade. I'm pretty sure I targeted here just because it was the first trade of the day. And one of my rules is I like to, grab some profit for the first trade of the day. And that then allows me to, maybe be a bit more riskier in the later trades. So what have we had? Well, we've created equal highs at the previous day high, and now we have vectored through with lots of momentum. Very nice, very nice. And we can see, we're about to give an M5 let away from the inducement. So let's see what happens. Okay, quite nice. M5 let, New York trap time, can't complain. But look, we're coming back for another potential mitigation. What would be ideal? Exactly, if that one was an M5 let as well. Oh, okay, 2 for 1, can't really complain. So you could take this and this. The only potential issue with this is you maybe break even on this first one. And if you are, then this would be a re-entry. In this case, maybe it's better to actually leave your SL open, but then you've doubled your risk. Basically, you're in 2 open positions, which is not ideal. But yeah, you can take either of these, and then what do we expect? Well, it's quite late in the day. So where are we going to aim for? Knowing that it's quite late in the day, well, likely we're going to aim for some kind of imbalance fill. Maybe we potentially get like London close. So if we're looking through all of this, our imbalance is here. So we'll likely aim for somewhere within this region. Okay, and now we've got even more reasons. Look, we've got a clean channel. So now we wait for the inducement, not to trade the buys, but to exit the sells. What would be perfect is if this inducement comes into this. If this was earlier in the day, I would likely expect this to get taken out, potentially be an SMT. But because we know that we're end of the day, we're probably going to experience some type of consolidation. We actually expect this to consolidate. So we don't want to be sitting holding a position that's just going to mess around until London open. Personally, I don't. I like to be in and out within the day. So let's go ahead and see. Perfect, right? like I said, this is a potential SMT, but it's late in the day, so we can expect consolidation after this point, especially when we get this vector. Look, vector channel, so that's your build up, inducement with vector candles, potential mitigation, even though it is a potential SMT. So potentially we could have completed our cycle here, and now you want to be a bit careful, especially because it's late in the day. We don't expect anything too crazy. And there you go, end of day consolidation. Ultimately it does end up taking this out, but for trade management, definitely recommend that we get out of it after this vector right here. Okay, perfect. So now we've got M5 Euro GBP 25th of May 2022. Of course, you guys should remember this from a bit earlier. We have our major inducement. You can see very significant build up and very nice vectors into the inducement. Very nice. So let's see what we have once we add the entry helper. Now you can see we have the EDM at Asia low bounce, very nice. And then here we have another EDM, just draw that like so. See, EDM, EDM, and what do these combine with? These combine with our continuation inducements. You can see how combining these two together can be really, really strong. Possibly even something on the M1 within this. This wouldn't be a bad trade, especially considering it. You've also got your M5 LET confirmation, but you can see that the entry helper really allows us to, really gives us more confidence in these retail heaven-esque days where we think like, okay, we've had a significant inducement to the high side. We know that the rest of the day will likely be some kind of continuation after this point, and we're not going to be wanting to go against this. So yeah. Again, this one is a bit late in the day, but this one is pretty much ideal, especially because it's MM2. And the only thing I would say is obviously this can give you a bit of shaky hands, but as long as you hold through, you should be good. Like I said, you see why some of these days are quite boring. Okay, and again, M5 Euro GBP 12th of May, trading away from the medium inducement. We can see this is our overall liquidity target. This is likely our intraday liquidity target. So let's see, and let's go over it, right? You can see how this would have been ideal if we just came up and gave the mitigation. You can see how, you can see how helpful this would have been. You've got your EDM after your continuation inducement, so inducing into this mitigation, continuing away from the overall inducement. I think also like this significant inducement that happened in Asia, perfect. And then also here you can see that we had our M5 LET. Again, this would have been our ideal mitigation. This would have been an absolute Mona Lisa trade. We would have loved to take something like that. But yeah, as you can see, the entry helper is actually very helpful when it comes to these retail heaven, London knockout days where you're just going to be trading in one direction. Sort of allows you to just identify the continuation inducements and take those. But yeah, that's pretty much it.